Computer, pause. Greetings, everyone. Hey, been a while. Feels more than a week, but it was. I was live last week. Um, Time is really flying because didn't realize. Next thing I know, we had. I think it was last week. We had a new air conditioning unit being installed. And next thing I know, it's Friday, and next thing I know, it's Monday again. So several things. Let's see. I'm trying to get this thing off of the screen. Okay, there it goes. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I got a bunch of orders I'm working on right now. I got a bunch of stuff coming off the printer. So all these little pieces here need cleanup. I got a pile of them. These are all for an order that's arrived, and I'm preparing that. This is from last week. This is also from last week. So these things are going out as soon as I get things cleaned up and treated, because they're all messy like this. There's a lot of glare. Come on, camera, focus. It's supposed to be a good camera for stuff like this. Focuses on everything else. Okay, so that's one thing. I've been working on VSS. Okay, let me start over. It's been a crazy week. Time is moving really fast, it seems. And then there was daylight saving time, so that also impacts. Orders have been kind of crazy, so I've been printing, getting these computer panels. These computer panels are printed. I got to clean them up and treat them, and then wait for the treatment to kind of evaporate away, and then I can bag them up and send them out. So a bunch of stuff like this I got to clean up. There's a lot of mess. But when I get done with them, you won't see the mess. Let's see. Also, in terms of VSS, I am slowly but getting this thing back. Probably tomorrow, I'm going to Frankenstein a repair for the engine room. So I have some epoxy putty I'm going to use for that, and I'm going to be cutting some of the 3D printed beams and splicing the cut with new beams. Joining the cut, I will try to do with screws, but I have some epoxy putty just in case there's no place for me to put a screw. The other thing is, in terms of the VSS, I am making kind of like a generic prop. You may have seen sometimes on Thingiverse and other places, people who do desktop gaming, they have conversion kits. They will take a can, like from Yoo-Hoo or some other brand, and they'll have a set of laser cut, usually, conversion parts that they put on the ends, and something to basically they convert a can into a prop. Could be a soup can, could be a Coke can or something, and they make it for a prop. It's a bit on the small side for 1/18 scale, but I've went ahead and made my own little conversion items. But I'm going to improve on that, try to make something a little bit more unique. But it will be a conversion. So I have ideas on converting the small little pretzel cartons. And one thing I want to do for the VSS is make an easy, inexpensive system to just add machinery, generic machinery, using things like this. So the current idea is to just 3D print parts that join these containers together. They just put a whole bunch of them, and they end up having a row of something, generic machines. on some sort of leg kind of system, so they stand. Another idea was in terms of finishing for the VSS, some sort of sensor tower, sensor array. So basically, you have the VSS bridge, and you have some tall structure sticking up with branches going out, and then you have cables, antennas, radar dishes, radar domes, and other types of sensory equipment. So I was thinking of using these containers as a quick little way someone can just go ahead and just buy a conversion kit, and then they can have pretzel containers, long ones, short ones like these, or other ones, as long as they fit with the container, and then you can just use the conversion kit to join them and do some sort of sensor array system. So I'm working on little ideas like that. Also, in terms of the store, folks have been asking for older props that are currently sold out to be put back into the store. So I'm working on that. I have so many different items though. So if you have suggestions and ideas or suggestions on what you want to see again, send me a list, and I will see what I can do. Sometimes I have inventory for those items. I just haven't. For example, there's at least one console prop, a small one that I have. I don't want to say discontinued. I have made them unavailable because I am currently in the process of changing them. One of those props is the hologram table, and I want to improve the way the hologram table, the top part, is. So I have another version of it that I've been working on. I have to get back to it, but there's been requests for that particular table to come back to the store. I think I have like one or two, or I can just reprint the parts that made the original table, and I can make that available. So there's situations like that. I have designs that I'm currently working on. I want to do a second round of improvement, so I have put those older designs as sold out, but I may have a couple, still in inventory or something. So let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Maybe I need to reprint a part or whatever. So just let me know what you're looking for, and I'll see if I can make that into a priority or what. Give you some options at least. Wait for the new one, that kind of thing. That's one. The other thing is, I am now preparing for not this Joe Fest for this year, but I'm also beginning to prepare for next year's Joe Fest in 2023. So I have different ideas of what I want to do and how I want to do the displays. I'm thinking about doing a diorama or several dioramas and have those things display on the table. One of those is, this is a rough, uncleaned up print, but one of those is using the DioWarriors barrels. So I have these little barrels. These are older designs. I haven't changed them. I made these designs several years ago, but these are good designs. I made this little, I don't know what you call it, stand for the barrels. They fit perfectly into our barrels. Of course, I need to clean it up. So there's items that that I need to remove and clean off a lot of this extra junk. So it's made out of wood, and this is a version of the barrels with a hole for the spigot, both here and up there. This goes back to several years ago where I did the spigot. This was before I had a resin printer. So I had to use Shapeways. So this is a Shapeways spigot that this is it's printed from Shapeways, but basically, fits like that. So I need to get these done on my resin printer. But anyway, so I may not release these just yet. Probably wait for next year's Joe Fest, but I have more plus the diorama for it. I have different barrel ideas, and I was thinking of doing something like some sort of wine cellar or something like that, using the cowboy figures. So you can think of it like some sort of saloon or something, or maybe a more fancy saloon rather than a very rustic one. So on something like that, I'll make these available by then, and you can pop them out from there. Put them in a different location. They have different kinds of barrel. Not only that, but let me put this away. But I have in the works. This was a very quick little small barrel, something that a mule can carry, or you put on the side of a wagon or something. But I didn't like the way this came out originally, because it was essentially an older version of this barrel that I just simply shrunk the scaling. So it does have some issues. So I started to redesign this from scratch yesterday, and I'll print when I can. I'll print the new version in wood, so it'll look like a real wood small mini barrel. So this stuff is good for attaching to a horse, a mule if there is one, a wagon. It's a personalized barrel for whatever. Not everyone has to carry a big, huge barrel on the back of a mule. They can just carry two of these on the back, things like that. So I'll make these things available. Let's see. Also, I still have plans to work with this VSS again today. I'm going to rotate it and do things. There's so many different things going on. One thing that I kind of found, I have a bit of an issue on storage, so I'm moving things around. I found this box where it shouldn't have been, and it's got stuff that I think should be going to the store. It's kind of like a spare box. I got a bunch of resin power drills that I'll be putting into the store. It's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about 8 of them, and I'll be putting them to the store. Let's see, got a bunch of these little bitty containers. They're clear. Try to get it closer to the camera. And they're good little background props. These are clear. I'll be printing these, but I'll be doing it in, I think, white or orange solid colors. It looks like I have some smaller parts for the weapon of mass destruction in resin. So I'll be the glare. Sorry about the glare. Oh, let me check, see if there's any messages, comments. Gotta refresh my Facebook. Okay. Computer is a little laggy. Let's see, StreamYard. Okay. Let's see what else. What other little things I got? Found some small 3D printed screens. I now laser cut them, so I'm not sure what I will do with these older ones. They're like little translucent pieces of plastic. Since the layer lines, they look like lenticular pieces of plastic. Uh-huh. So here's an older potential spam. Here's an older world map for a conference table. I think because this exists here, what I can do is that I'm going to try to redo the this conference table using this particular map, the faceted side, things like that, and see about 3D printing it rather than laser cutting. And that might make for an interesting sci-fi aesthetic a little bit more than laser. Let's see, I got a bunch of resin. I have to test them. Office phones. So these are the VoIP type phones. I think they have the headsets, although, yeah, it looks like they have headsets with them. I'll have to, they look kind of glossy. I wonder if I have to treat them in alcohol again or not. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. What else? What else I got inside here? I got to be careful because there's resin stuff. So I don't know what I have in here that could be fragile. Ha! Here's some resin. Yeah, I should make this available then in the store. The chemistry tables that I have from a few years ago. I gotta see which ones are available, and then yeah. So, oh gosh, these are fragile. So when you get them, just very, very careful. Small little props. I don't know what to call them. Like a pipe bomb or something like that. I think that's what they were originally inspired from. I saw some pictures of a pipe bomb type stuff, and it's like, oh, that will make for an interesting prop. And but they also look like something that you can use on some sort of technical greeble. There's longer ones, there's shorter ones. I'll get those in the store. Guess I should move this out of the way. Ahaha. Okay, here's a number of different types of I gotta test these. I gotta test them for tackiness. These types of console pieces that I've been printing. Let's see, get a better. The glare, always the glare. These type of computer consoles, but these are the ones that were done in resin, so the details are sharper and clear. I don't know which versions are there. They look like the older versions. So I don't want to hold on to these, so I'll put them on the store as a separate option. So when you go to them to buy the pieces, there'll be a distinction, if I haven't done it already, for these being in resin. Okay. Here's some more pieces for the weapon of mass destruction. These are the greeble pieces. These are the pieces that fit for the sides, like the keypad, the grill. So basically all the faceted sides. These are the pieces for that. So I got to see which ones these will make, and I'll probably put them on the store. Just seeing what I have here, I think I have 1 or 2 weapons of mass destruction parts that will complete. Others are going to be like, in different stages of completeness. Okay, here's part of the chemistry set stuff. I'm going to hold on to these for a little bit, only because I'm looking for a better option on doing the chemistry flasks and things. So question. I'm willing to do this as a Kickstarter. I am seriously thinking about doing a small Kickstarter for things like chemistry sets. And they don't take that much in terms of the molding, so maybe the Kickstarter won't be too expensive, have a lofty goal. So I'll have to see about that. I'll have to talk to my contacts and stuff and find out if they would be interested, willing to work on that, to do the molds for. That's another thing. If folks are still interested in the weapon of mass destruction, nuke bomb type of thing, I am seriously thinking, maybe it needs a Kickstarter to go into like injection molding, factory level. So if y'all are interested in like me pursuing a way to mass produce these using a factory, let me know. If I do go that route, it will be for injection molding. Chinese factory, the same type of factories that's used for doing the figures. It'll be more like a model kit rather than a toy. So it may come in sprues, so that may keep the cost down. So instead of charging an arm and a leg, it'll be more affordable, and maybe it'll be molded in color or maybe just gray. I don't know, something like that. But the parts are actually well done. They're very thin. That's one reason why I don't want to do them all the time in resins and stuff, because some of them are super thin. I mean, like paperclip thin. And when it's thin like that for resin, any type of mistreatment will cause the thing to break. But in terms of plastic, that's a different issue. So I am willing to explore the possibility of doing some of these props as a factory injection molded thing, funded by a Kickstarter. The weapon of mass destruction is still on the table for that, as well as the chemistry sets. So if you do like the DioWarriors chemistry sets, I could do more complete sets, or I can design them as a modular piece. For example, you have a flask, and you have a tube, you have other tubes, you have other flasks, and you want to connect this flask to this flask, and using this tube, something in the middle, into that flask. So flask, tube, something, a tube to flask. And then if you need something like a Bunsen burner or some sort of stand, those models are made. And I do have ideas on how to do it for injection molding. And plus, designing them for injection molding shouldn't be that much of a challenge, being that these parts are small and they tend to have how we call it, let's say drafts. So if you do anything with injection molding, you know that you want to have your sides, vertical sides, as a draft. So instead of being straight like this, they're inclined just a bit. So that way they're easier to slip out of the mold and get them out. And so something like these stands could be made into like a model thing and done in such a way where with a little bit of glue you can attach the hooks for that, the Bunsen burner, and the other items that are necessary for making a stand. So basically, think of it as a model kit instead of a toy where it's mostly completed. For these stands, for example, I'll just do the vertical rod, the hook piece, the stand as a separate the base plate as a separate item, and then have the Bunsen burner as a separate item, each one being a two-part mold. So the rod itself is a two-part mold. The hook that holds the flasks is a two-part mold. The base of it also two-part mold. And the Bunsen burner, even though it's fancy looking, it will be a two-part mold. So that's on the table for that. This has a bunch of resin pieces. Look at this. Ooh. Look at this. These are these are keyboards. These are some sci-fi keyboards, and then these are keyboards, regular keyboards. So I'll make these available on the store also. Now we get into like first generation techno-looking props. These were done with PLA and Hatchbox brand PLA. And it were definitely popular brands. They still are a popular brand of PLA. But they were pretty much the hot item several years ago. These days, the competition for them is a bit more. So, but these are still quality PLA pieces. So I'll be making these available also back on the store. By the way, they do have, see this one here by my thumb. Come on, I'm not used to the camera. It's got like a hexagon top. They're all designed so you can customize them yourselves with connection points for tubes, things like that. That might be the only thing I'll do differently, is just make the top with more connection points for tubes and things. Yeah, more. These are sci-fi keyboards, much more. So I gotta. Maybe I could do a different kind of prop that uses them, so it enhances the dark color of these resin pieces a bit more. There's I found a broken piece here. Was a steampunk style goggle without the rest of the strap. I got another piece. I better leave this out. I got that. I was going to show. I had it out. Oh, right here. So, was doing some experimenting with flexible resin. I don't know if this is going to snap in my fingers, but it does kind of flex. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it does kind of flex, but I wouldn't put a lot of pressure on it to flex. With resin printers, there's not that much flexibility, excuse the pun, for doing things like experimental, using experimental materials like you can with a filament printer. You can mix metals and things like that. You can do that to a certain point with resin, but it's tricky. And usually for things like adding color and things like that to the resin, they're additives, and you have to add like a ratio to your resin. So in this case, I used a flexible additive. The more you add of this additive, the more flexible the part is. So to do something like a strap goes around a figure and make it flexible, it's a lot of trial and error to find the right ratio, especially for something like what we do in 1/18 scale. it's easier in a way to just simply cast these in a flexible resin. And that's what we normally do. We contact a talented person who does casting, and we ask, for him to come up with a bunch of these for us. But this is an experiment here. This is just a prototype experimenting with flexible resins. I have to do more experimentation. Mostly I got to see how much ratio of the additive I need before it breaks. So, and I don't want it to be like a rubber band either. That's going to be too flexible. So that's something there. Let's see, what else I got? Resin parts for pivot table, the side computer, and a few other resin parts here. What's this? Well, I don't know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. These are the pegs for assembling the examination table. Oh, here's something. Did this for not a commission. I don't do commissions. But this is a prototype for an oxygen canister for a stretcher, basically, or it fits behind someone's wheelchair or something like that. Essentially, it mounts like this on the back. So it's got the valve piece. It's got a piece here that fits into an oxygen tank. So this is a peg. So it fits into the oxygen tank like that. And then it's got a piece there that you can put a hose. And so I have to... So this was done, in resin. And I wonder if there's a future that I can use for it, Maybe something more for the chemistry thing. We'll see how that goes. I should put this back. Yeah, I don't want these pieces to break. This is a box full of resin things. So, kind of caught me by surprise. I was moving things around. It's like, oh, what's this? It's a bunch of screws, Allen screws and things like that. And then I look underneath it, like, whoa, what's this box doing here? What's in it? What's inside this box? Open it up. It's like, whoa, a bunch of small containers that can go to the store. Chemistry. So yeah, what I'll do is that I'll take some of these items and I'll just clean them up, and I'll take one of them that it won't be for sale, and what I'll do is that I'll make like the best possible display for it, and it won't be painted. It'll be all unpainted. So that way, for example, if you have never seen the DioWarriors chemistry sets, it'll be an opportunity to see how they look. The chemistry table, the weapon of mass destruction, things like that. And I'll use it to pitch the idea to y'all and see if anyone is interested, and how many people will be interested in doing something like a Kickstarter for the chemistry and the weapon of mass destruction. So maybe we can see about getting them done in a Chinese factory and mass producing them. So that might be something worth pursuing there. So I'll do that. And then these other items, I'll see about getting them on the store. The VoIP phone, computer panels, techno-looking cylinders. Could be an explosive, could be just some sort of greeble. Electric power drills. Yeah, I can see about getting that on Kickstarter. Basically, anything that I do on for the resin definitely can be done for the ooh, this is delicate. When I see this, it's like, oh, it makes my skin kind of go on edge, because it's super delicate. But in terms of resin, um, yeah. So anyway, there's a few other items like that I want to see about getting them done for injection molding, but it will take a bit extra work on my part to add drafts and things like that, so they fit better in the molds. So that's basically it for right now. I'm taking a look to see if there's anything else that I could mention, but I don't remember. There's options, so I'll see about putting those options out there for everyone, and maybe do a poll or something like that, and see how see what people think. And I need to talk to the design studio folks and see what would it take to do small molds for these types of props, and see what type of costs I could come up with, and then I can start planning a Kickstarter. Okay, so all that said, I am still working on finding really the solvent for the vacuum forming machine that I'm still working on. I may have to order a new canister of solvent. You know how that will go. As soon as I order it, press to order, press the click, and then I'm just going to look down, and it's going to be right there. The item that I was looking for is going to be right there. And oh well, what can I say? Okay, folks, I'll catch y'all next time, and have a great week. If something, oh yeah, I forgot. Let me go share. Share screen. Share screen. Window. This. Have you all seen this? From Boss Fight Studio, they posted, I think today, some concepts that they were done. I have to look at the post a bit more, but it sounds like they're moving forward with this concept that was posted some time ago, and additional stuff for their fantasy line. I am especially interested in the dwarven innkeeper, mostly for the size of the body. I'm definitely interested in at least getting one of each, but I may want to go for maybe more than one for that orc, because I kind of like the orcs that they do. Nice set of weapons, the axes, the battle axes, the fancy looking stuff. The dwarven innkeeper would go well with the DioWarriors, what do you call it, cauldrons and other kinds of cooking ware. So that makes me think that I need to get my potbelly cast iron stove remade, so I can just print it out with these printers I have now. And okay, so that's the latest news from Boss Fight Studio. They're doing some awesome work, and they're moving forward. So the regular fans that like the 1/18 scale stuff are not out in the dark. I know I've been I know there's been several people have made comments to me and stuff that where the regular fans that contributed to the Kickstarter and stuff like that a long time ago to help get them started feel a bit out of the cold, in the sense that they're doing a lot of theme stuff for syndicated stuff, like Popeyes and other things that are not quite the 1/18 scale stuff that that the hardcore G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Marauder, those kind of folks, those kind of fans want. So Nothing, nothing, not real criticism on my part. It was just echoing, and you know. So I'm glad to see that these things are still moving forward and that the fans are not forgotten. And can't wait, because then I'll be supporting them with my money. So okay. So with all that said, great stuff, great stuff. Can't wait to actually buy these and buy them in multiples. So the Dwarven Innkeeper has potential mix and match with other parts, I think, especially if there's other figures that are eventually made with other options, other kinds of arms, other kinds of torsos, other kinds of heads. And I am interested in that Dwarven Mercenary also, especially those antlers. Has a very, how would I say, I forget what's called, the nomad wastes from Acid Rain. There's these nomads that roam the post-apocalyptic wastelands, and they have these antlers and things like that on their helmets and things. And so that's what these antlers on that helmet kind of reminds me. I can imagine people doing customs to enhance their Acid Rain figures with additional, nomad look. And I suppose the orc would also look good with those antlers and done in such a way as a creature that lives in the post-apocalyptic wastelands of an Acid Rain universe, or any post-apocalyptic universe. Nuclear winter kind of thing. Mutants, things like that. Not only that, but the cauldron stuff would go good for the magic user that they had a while ago. I don't remember the names of them, but it was a guy with a spell book, things like that. Well, you can have a nice little prop set up in the background as part of a wizard's laboratory or a wizard's nook in his dark tower, surrounded with spell books and other interesting things, including cauldrons for doing stuff. Let's see, what other little items could be used on this. I think, to me, the ones that I'm looking for the most are the three, the orc chieftain. I don't know how that last one is. Buruzagi. Is that an I at the end of the G or an exclamation? I don't know. The Madame Ruskin, I don't know, Dwarven Innkeeper. So I'll just say the Orc Chieftain looks good. I want to get. Dwarven Innkeeper looks good. I want to get. And the Dwarven Mercenary looks good. I want to get. And it kind of makes me wonder, are these compatible, these dwarves? Are these compatible with the Lord of the Ring dwarves that came out a few years ago? I rather hope so. Because they only came up with like 3 or 4 dwarves, maybe 3. They came up with 4 dwarves, and Gimli, Killy, not Gimli, sorry, Killy, Philly, Baldwin, I think is the name, and the other guy, Darwin, something like that. I don't remember. I gotta look. So, but they never came up with the other dwarves for that line. I wonder if it's possible to use these as bodies and things for those dwarves, and I suppose make some new ones and maybe customize and finish off those Lord of the Ring dwarves. Just need like 13 of them. 13 dwarves. Okay, folks. By the way, that Dwarven Innkeeper will go good with my cast iron pans. So, okay, so catch y'all later, and see y'all next week. Bye-bye.